the DG, Dr. Chris Egbu. I'm inviting us to the first monthly lecture in the year 2023. And my name is Dr. Joshua Odewale, a fellow also of the Center for Productivity. Like I said, the center was established in 2008 and registered, and it is to ameliorate the problem of productivity. Because whether you're talking about public sector, private sector, everywhere, people are working, but inadequate productivity does not allow the attendance advantage of the work. And that is why this center is established. We are lucky it is established in Nigeria, but it's an international organization with courses being offered in some universities. And we draw membership from those who are introduced, those who attended this lecture, and they find out that it is a worthwhile venture. But one thing we don't do, we don't give honorary membership, but we have associate membership, members, and fellows. So I'm sure that when you listen to this lecture, if you're a member, it will concentrate your membership. And if you are not a member, you will see the reason why you should join us. So I'll open the door, and then I tell our DG, who is the presenter today, to speak on the topic for this day. So thank you, sir. So you are welcome, everybody, both fellows, members, board members, and those who are just attending for the first time. You are welcome.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Dr. Joshua Odewale, who is a council member. We have other council members. You are welcome also. We'll give you opportunity later to contribute. So today we are discussing 10 easy steps for managing the ups and downs of revenue and cash flow. Either you are working or you're a businessman, you need cash flow to survive. And that is what we will be talking today. Yes. He has already mentioned, these are some of the professional bodies I belong, more than 8 professional bodies. And this is where we are inducting Mr. Wumi Adeni, who is a council member of Chartered Institute of Bankers. This is some of my publications and associations that I chair or I work for. Okay, so these are what we are going to look at. 10 steps for managing the ups and downs of revenue and cash flow. We are going to introduce the topic. We are going to see the relationship between productivity and cash flow. We are also going to see the important cash flow basics. And we will see why profit does not equal to good cash flow. And 10 easy steps for managing the ups and downs of revenue and cash flow. Emergency fund and why you need it. We will also see the role of Center for Public Service Productivity and Development on your growth and productivity. And finally, we'll be looking at benefit of being a member of CeProd. Now, moving forward, do you want to prosper? Then you need to increase your productivity. If you want to be high and have enough liquidity, to have enough money, then you need to increase your productivity. Do you want to increase your productivity? Then you need to diversify your income so that you can have income from various sources, not only one source of income or earning. And we should also understand that being busy does not mean being productive. One can be working very hard, but is not productive. That means it's not generating anything or any income. So now, business owners look at productivity and growth as the answer to all their cash flow problems. After they achieve their goal of growing their business, there are several cash flow problems that can make the business unproductive. Yes, we have a lot of organizations that have grown, have billions, but yet they crash. We have also businesses that have lasted 5 years, 10 years, but they are not sure of regular income. So that is why this topic is very essential. Why? Cash flow is directly related to productivity. Why? If you have low cash flow, less work as per target, that means you will work less on target. Assuming you want to procure goods for sale and you don't have cash flow, people will come and ask for those goods and you will not be able to deliver. Assuming you want to increase your sales by advertising and you don't have enough money to advertise, you will not be able to advertise. Therefore, you will not be able to get more income. So you see how cash flow is related to productivity. So anything you want to do, you want to increase it, you want to expand, and you depend on cash flow to do it. And most projects have failed because of lack of cash flow. Most businesses which are very good has also failed because of lack of cash flow. So productivity versus cash flow. What is the relationship between cash flow and productivity? There is a lot of relationship. If you don't have the cash to pay for suppliers of raw materials, labor, and so forth, then the production will slow down or stop. Assuming you employ staff to work for you and you cannot pay them, they will not work effectively or they will stop working. Assuming you're also building a house and you don't have steady cash flow to be funding that house, it will take years and inflation will cut up with it and it will be difficult to complete. For instance, assuming you started building in 2015 when a bag of cement was 1,500 and you have not completed it, you'll be buying cement now at 4,006 or thereabout, depending on where you are. So you see, but if you had a steady cash flow, you'll be able to complete that project in 2015 or 2016, and it will be yielding money by now. So if you don't have the cash to feed yourself and your family, your productivity will also decline or stop. Yes, most quarrel in the family between husband and wife is usually also because of lack of money to cook, money to pay school fees and essential things, which means that even lack of cash flow can destroy a marriage. So that is why it's critical to maintain a level of working capital that allows you to survive crunch times and continue to operate your business. Simply put, cash flow management means delaying outlays of cash as long as possible, while encouraging your customers to pay as quickly as possible. If you are into buying and selling, it's recommended that you delay payment of your suppliers such that your debtors will pay before you pay them. Also, you must always keep funds available to do the necessary working capital before the next one comes. Important cash flow basics. So what is cash flow? It is basically the movement of funds in and out of your business. Yes, there are essential two kinds of cash flow, positive and negative cash flow. When we talk about positive cash flow, it means that your income, cash, is more than your outflow, your cash outflow. And this is where it's better for everyone to be. It is always better that what we earn should be higher than what we spend. But then we need a lot of discipline to be here. You need a lot of discipline to be here. But when we talk of negative cash flow, you don't need discipline to be here. It just means that your outflow is greater than what is coming in. This generally means trouble for a business. And 80% of individuals are here today. And the same thing for our country, like our current budget, which is about 21 trillion Nigerian budget, is only about less than half is what we are going to generate. The others will be borrowed. And that is the situation most individuals are. Most individuals spend more than they earn. And it is not good for individual. It is not good for a business. So it is important that you keep records if you must monitor your cash flow. This record will tell you how much is coming in, how much is going out. But sad to say, most business and individual does not keep record. They keep spending such that their outflow is more than their income. And many will justify it that their income is very less or their income is more. But I must tell you, if you are not disciplined, when your income is more, even if you have big income, that discipline will be lacking. The discipline to spend within your income, the discipline to spend to generate more money instead of to spend for consumption alone. Now, let's look at profit does not equal to good cash flow. A business may be making profit because profit means revenue minus expenses. And remember, some of your income may be owed. Some people may buy on credit or salary is not paid on time, like some people who are working for some state government that are owing them up to 8 months. You'll be making profit, but then that does not translate to regular cash flows. Therefore, you'll be in trouble. You cannot use stock, debtors to pay your rent or salaries, which means that you need cash, and cash flow is superior. Now we look at 10 easy steps for managing the ups and downs of revenue and cash flow. Number one, 10 easy steps for managing the ups and downs of revenue and cash flow. The recent COVID-19, which occurred between 2020 and 2021, has taught us a lesson of the need to have cash, because most people could not go out and most people could not earn income. Therefore, if you did not have income or you don't have cash and you are locked down, that is another way of sentencing yourself to debt if you cannot buy necessary things you need. The same thing with the NSAS lockdown and recent increase in fuel price. Some areas now, they are selling fuel between 200 and 400 naira, depending on where you are. And this is automatic devaluation of naira. This has impacted negatively on cash flow, which means that if you cannot increase your cash income, maybe you will not be able to be owning your generator again, or you may not be able to buy gas again, and so forth. So here are a few steps that businesses should follow to manage their cash flow when they are faced with current challenges in ups and downs of cash flow. In part one, we shall discuss how you can quickly fix your cash flow problems if it arises. In part two, part one is 1 to 7, point 1 to 7, we will be looking at how can you fix your cash flow problems if you are in it. In part two, which is from 8 to 14 or 15, we shall be looking at how to continuously maintain a healthy cash flow if you don't have a healthy cash flow. So we go to part one, how to quickly fix your cash flow problems. Number one, you can't control what you don't measure. You can't control what you don't measure. Finding out the amount of working capital a business needs to operate is the first step to fixing cash flow problem. You need to answer questions like, how much inventory or stock do I need to hold? How many invoices are overdue? How many people are owing you? How much cash is tied up in stock or work in progress? How long does it take from a paying supplier of materials to extract cash from you, to extracting cash from the customers? So we are looking at how long does it take from the time you pay a supplier to the time you collect cash from your customers. Your bookkeeper or accountant or accounting software can help you to anticipate inflow and outflow of money over a period of time. And you need to answer these questions to know how much cash you need. Because if you're operating without sufficient cash, you will always be choked up. Or in accounting parlance, it could be said that you are overtrading. Now, the risk of expanding sales. The risk of expanding sales. In order to generate more cash, you as small business must try to extract, your small business must try to attract new customers always, and sell more goods and services to your existing clients. So if you're in a business and you're not attracting new customers, you rely only on the old ones. Very soon, the old people might cease to patronize you and the business will close. So you must have a system which we call customer acquisition system. New customer acquisition can be a strain on your time and money, because to convert new prospects to sales take more resources than selling to existing customers. It costs you more to attract new customers, because you can spend 100,000 advertising and you have not gotten even one. Therefore, you'll be able to sell more to existing customers and reduce the cost of gaining new clients. When you have good customer service, you're able to maintain the existing customers because you attend to them very well and they are happy with you. They can even refer you to more people. This will enable you to improve your profit margin and manage cash better, because cost of customer acquisition is always higher than cost of retaining. So if you want to have a good cash flow, you must continuously attract new customers while also retaining the existing ones. Small business must be careful of increasing sales if these sales increase only the account receivables. I repeat, small business must be careful of increasing sales if these sales increase only the account receivable, or if these sales are on credit. So if you're increasing your turnover or sales and they are only on credit, there is danger, and you have to be careful about that danger. Now, still on the risk of expanding sales, in third world country, we have this issue of limited access to market. Some people may say, the market is saturated, we don't have enough market, or what I'm doing, every other person are doing it. Entrepreneurs in developing economies may face challenges in reaching customers and selling their product or services. One solution is to look for ways to increase the reach of the business, such as through online platforms and social media, to reach a wider audience and sell products or services. You must have online presence. People must know what you do and what you stand for, and you should be able to reach them through online, because at times it's cheaper. Secondly, consider partnering with other businesses to expand the reach of your business. That is where collaboration, networking is important, which is one of the opportunities that CeProd afford. For instance, now we are compiling a network directory for our members, which will show businesses they are doing, their contacts, their phone number, which can help for networking. Lastly, look for opportunities to participate in trade shows or export products to other countries. Yes, like in this platform now, some people are from other countries, Malaysia, Zimbabwe, London, America, and so forth, even in this audience. So if you can network with them, connect with them, you may see that what they need there, you can supply here, and what they have there, they can supply you here, so that you don't only depend on Nigerian market alone, whereas you have 8 billion population of the world to reach out to. Why limit yourself to 200 million? Thirdly, increase the pace. Increase the pace of collecting receivables. Receivables, I mean people that are owing you. Business should increase the swiftness in the receipt and processing of receivables. Bill early, collect quickly to guard against late payments, because the longer people are owing you, the likelihood that they will not pay you. Instead of waiting until the end of the month, generate an invoice as soon as the goods or services are delivered. If you're a businessman, you may have seen this issue of maybe somebody bought items you sell from you. Maybe you are selling cups. He bought a lot of cups on credit from you. And instead of next time he wants to buy, instead of paying you, he will go and buy from someone else, so that he does not pay you the one he's owing you before. That is what waiting too long can cause. Also, make it easy as possible for your customers to pay you. For example, you can add your bank account details or a payment link on your invoice, so that your customers can pay using debit card. Other ways of increasing the pace of collecting receivable is for big orders like construction contracts. You may want to consider progressive invoicing while you manufacture the goods or deliver the services. Let's say you are into construction. You can say, okay, after German floor, we invoice. When we reach to DPC level, we invoice. When we reach to roofing level, we invoice. When you roof, you invoice, so that you don't invoice everything at the same time. So you continuously invoice at a percentage of the work, so that the customer pays at the agreed milestone, so that if he cannot pay, the work will stop. It is easy to lose track and then neglect to follow up on an overdue account, especially when cash flow is coming. Experience shows that the longer you remain out of contract with a customer, the longer you remain out of contact with customer, the less likely you are to recover the amount owed. And in law, if you don't contact a customer within 7 years that is owing you, it could be legally bad for you to go back to him again to repay that money, because you did not keep in touch with him. 4, impact on cash flow from cash discount. You can increase your cash flow by providing discounts to customers that make early payment. Incentive can reduce profit margin, but ensures that payments are made early than the typical billing cycles. This can also help your company to get early payments from suppliers. So you can give cash discount to make your customers to pay on time. 5, acquiring suitable loans. There are times when short-term cash flow problems may cause your business to seek for loans. For instance, when you want to restock for season, like Easter season, Christmas season, or when you want to buy goods that is seasonal so that you can sell off-season period, you may need some soft loan. Most loan types are revolving bank overdraft, and this type of loan is suitable for short-term cash flow problem. However, it is not suitable during a financial meltdown or economic recession, as banks may cancel credit lines. And it's not also suitable for you to borrow overdraft for a long-term project, because the cost of the overdraft, which is between 25 to 30%, may erode the profit if you hold it for a long time. Other methods of procuring loan include long-term amortization loan, including payment of principal and interest until the loan is closed. Large asset purchases, such as equipment and real estate, should usually be financed with long-term loan rather than with working capital. So if you must take long-term loan, let's say loan for 3 or 4 years, you must make sure that the asset you are acquiring is going to pay for the loan, that the loan will not be paid from their own or from other source. Rather, that asset will be paying for it. Yes. Information. Our members will receive free the slides and recorded video, while others will receive free the training video. Please send a chat requesting for the free materials, your full name, email, phone number. It's optional also. If you want certificate of participation on this program to be issued, that is e-certificate, you will pay administrative fee of 5,000. So you can also include that on the chat so that the admin can contact you on that. Thank you. 6, liquidate cash tied up with assets. Remember, we are treating how you can cope if you're already having a cash flow squeeze. Do you have equipment you no longer use or inventory that is becoming obsolete? Some people have old fridge, old AC, old fan in their house or in their office. Consider selling it to generate quick cash. Idle, obsolete, and non-working equipment take up space and tie up capital, which might be used for more productivity. So check your home, your office. You will definitely see things that for the past 5 years you have not used. Why not dispose them? If you have a slow-moving stock, you can consider selling them at a discount to release cash for fast-moving goods. For those that are into trading, check your stock. You may see some items for the past 1 year, 2 years, you have not sold. Why not discount and sell it? Excess inventory can quickly become obsolete and worthless as customer requirements change and new materials are introduced. Like if you have Nokia 3310 in your stock now, you are sure nobody will buy it. So don't wait until then. 7, delay your payables. This may sound obvious, but it's often neglected. Unless there are worthwhile incentives for you to pay early, figure out how late you can pay your vendors without risking late fees or harming your relationship. This keeps the cash in your account and out of your vendors until it is absolutely necessary. However, this should be within the mutual allowable agreed limit. Yes, agreed limit. So you think about how you can delay your payables within a tolerable limit so that you can use it to sort yourself out. Okay, best practices for managing a healthy cash flow. We have discussed so far how you can quickly fix your cash flow problem using the tips mentioned above, 1.7, assuming you have cash flow problem. However, it is important to continuously maintain a healthy cash flow in your business or startup. Let's see how you can do this. 8, identify business risk and prepare in advance. There are many risks involved in running a business. You need to consider a number of scenarios, such as, what if the big order suddenly comes in? What if a big order is canceled? What if that important client goes missing while still owing me money? This kind of risk analysis can become part of your cash flow budgeting process. Try this simple method. If you are using a spreadsheet, Excel sheet to enter cash flows, to enter cash inflows, simply reflect a hypothetical situation by adding or deleting an inflow to see what it can do to you. And that's why it's not good to depend on single source of income, because if that single source of income fails, it might adversely affect your business. So if you use an Excel and you can remove one or two inflows and it doesn't negatively affect you, then you know that you are doing well. Next is create a separate bank account for your business. A common mistake associated with running a business is that most startups or new entrepreneurs, they mix their business account with personal bank account and debit card. And since they are the one who started the business from their personal savings, they confuse the two. So it is strongly advised that you separate your bank account with that of your business, so that you will keep business money in business account and keep personal account for personal expenses in personal account, so that you don't dip hand in business money to spend. And when the business needs money, the money will not be there. Then monitor your inventory efficiently. You need to analyze inventory movement to determine which item is selling and which ones are soaking up your working capital. The same thing if you are into service. You need to check which service area is giving you more money so that you put more energy there. Try to keep inventory levels lean so that your working capital isn't tied up, unproductive, and unprofitable. So you keep your working capital effective by keeping inventory lean. 11, always keep buffer money. You must ensure that your business has enough cash to fund your working capital needs. It is advised that you keep 3 months worth of expenses in the bank for a rainy day, so that in case money does not come within 3 months, you don't fold up. That may be a thing of the past if you have a steady cash flow. Yes, if you are sure, like if you have a supermarket and you are sure every day you must sell, fine, you may not need that. But if that is the case with you, make sure that you have a buffer of some sort, either personal fund available and overdraft or revolving credit. This is also essential for those that are into service professionals whom do not have daily or they are not sure of weekly income. 13, keep your cash growing. Keep your cash growing. We will take questions at the end of the lecture. So those raising hand, you have to wait till the end of the lecture. Keep your cash growing. Keep your cash balances in interest earning account, which are available in most banks. Although nowadays, bank doesn't pay reasonable interest, most often 2% or 3%. But then it's better you keep it there than in current account, where they will be charging you account maintenance fee and processing fee, tax, and so forth. In some cases, you might encounter a minimum balance requirement Just keep minimum balance in a non-interest yielding account while you seek for high yielding savings account, certificate of deposit, or money market account like treasury bill to keep more or bulk of your money. Then when you need money, you transfer from there to your current account for business spending. So it's better you keep much of your money in interest-bearing account and very small on non-interest-bearing account. 14, do not focus on profit, but focus on cash flow. Agnes of AC Power Coaching estimate that 90% of the SMEs she works with do not have cash flow plan from day one, despite having forecast of profit margin for years ahead. She says this is common reason for early business failure. Most people have a projection for profit, but no projection for cash flow. And that can lead to business failure. We have said in the past or at the beginning that you can be making profit, but without supporting cash flow, the business will collapse. So if your cash flow is in order, your profit will be in order. It says, a lot of business will not make it past this month. They might have been profitable business eventually, but they need to have good cash flow to survive. 15, invest in yourself. Remember, we said before, we'll give you 10 ways to manage your ups and downs in cash flow. But because we want to do more, we are giving you more than 10. 15, invest in yourself. To invest in yourself is the best investment you can make. It is your responsibility to invest in your unique gifts, talent, passion. It is your responsibility to identify them, recognize them, nurture them, use them, or monetize them. So whatever you are good at, see the way you can use it to get money. Don't focus on one area. Invest in yourself, enable you to diversify your income and cash flow. If you want to be productive, you must change and diversify. How are you spending your time? Use your time to advantage. Develop yourself, build and nurture relationships, cultivate your network, and widely embrace technology. Take some online courses. What is your passion? How are you going to monetize them? So at times you can invest in yourself by learning new skills, joining new networks, new associations, learning new areas that can improve on what you are doing, so that at the end of the day, the essence is to earn more. Next, investing for the future. As you enjoy the fruits of your labor today, remember to invest in your future. Don't consume everything you earn today, because time will come when you may not have the energy to earn monthly or daily income. Therefore, seek for professional advice before making wrong investments. Advisors operate from deep knowledge and experience. They help you evaluate your financial situation, have access to research and information, develop your own knowledge, attend conferences, seminars, books, buy books, check internet softwares. You can also engage personal finance coach who will advise you on your future financial security. Use your time well, because if you don't invest in your future, when the future comes, you will be unprepared. Lastly, emergency fund. Things happen. We must be prepared for unexpected, just like COVID-19. he didn't announce that it's coming. If your income were to stop suddenly due to any reason, for how long can you continue to meet your obligations? Please ponder over the question. If your income stops now, how long can you live and meet your obligations? Set some funds aside to take care of emergencies. That is safety net. Ideally, you should have 6 months to 1 year living expenses saved. This means that you have bought yourself some peace of mind. Yes, very important that you have peace of mind. Now, someone asked today, he's here, he joined from Malaysia. He was asking, what is the benefit of Center for Productivity? He has been joining it for long. Yes, the alarming decline in productivity in African national economy, especially in the public sector, is a concern to many. And that is why the slang, a lot of people want to run away today from Africa to go to developed world because we are not productive. Things are not functioning. We have over 1 million students in Canada today from Nigeria alone, and more are living every day. And most often, those that are living are even the middle class, those that have things to offer. So if we continue moving and leave African country unproductive, time will come that the continent will become a place for dumping goods and a burial ground. That means that when people who have moved die, they will come and bury them here. And we don't want it to be so. We have to contribute our quota. Governments have been challenged. And though we have a Ministry of Labor and Productivity, we have parastatals such as National Productivity Center, which is supposed to institutionalize productivity culture, but their best has not been good enough to reverse that. And that is why in 2008, like the chairman have said, the Center for Public Service Productivity and Development was registered as a non-governmental, non-profit organization and a professional association to encourage productivity in Africa. Because of the centrality of productivity issues in the economy, a concerted effort is required to reverse this trend of everybody living and nobody is working to improve the economy. So that is the purpose of CeProd. And membership benefit, this is where we are inducting some members here. Now, the members benefit is that first, as our member, you are shown how productivity improves your real income, your ability to purchase goods and services, enjoy leisure, and improve housing and education, and contribute to social and environmental impact. You also show that increasing your productivity can help your business to be more profitable. As a member, you go through 14 modules of productivity lectures, and you are given the manual as a reference material where you can learn different areas, how you can be productive, how you can make your staff more productive, things you can do to increase your via marketing and so forth. As a member, also, when you become a member, you can use ACP, MCP, or FCP to denote a high level of professional competence and performance standard. You can use it as an acronym to your name. You also receive a monthly newsletter and special research report, which keep members informed about emerging issues in the profession, locally and internationally. A unique opportunity for self-development. Members have frequent opportunity to exchange ideas with experienced professionals so as to update and expand their skills. We have also a productivity coaching, which assists members to understand the main determinants and drivers of their personal growth. Because when we talk of productivity, the coaching will help you to look at yourself to see which areas is open to you to be more productive. Our members are listed also online in our membership directory. You go to centerforproductivity.org. You will see, I think, about 214 fellows now who are listed with their qualification and so forth. We have also international networking among business leaders and professionals. And these are what our members have said. Professor Balogun of Redeemers University says that it has shaped my skill, broadened my horizon, and improved the level of my professionalism. So you can imagine a professor saying what he has learned has broadened and improved his professionalism. This is what Dr. Andrew Oruma said, who is a physician, specialist physician with Shell. Say it is an eye-opener for me to some things that can either enhance or hamper one's productivity. So the testimonial speaks. This was Dr. Soles Akode says, head maintainer, Nigeria LNG. He said, I must confess that the workshop materials were most enriching with a very strong bearing with real life situations. Thank you so much for this unique opportunity. So what CeProd has been doing, CeProd has been doing a lot of productivity awareness. We do that through direct productivity awareness campaign, which we send more than 200,000 monthly. We send direct mails to people about issues about productivity. We also do free open webinar like the one we are holding now. We give at times free productivity courses, free skill acquisition for youth. And our members also talk about productivity at any sphere they find themselves. We also do publication in national newspapers. Like you can see, these are some of the publications we make. If you also go to our website, under news, you will see a lot of publications we have made in the international media and local media. This is our CeProd Fellowship induction in Abuja at the State Hotel, Abuja. This one is also at Abuja. So these are some of the materials that our membership training covers. You can see like number 3, how to improve your staff productivity. 4, productivity strategies for flexible working options, setting realistic productivity standard, application of technology in growth hacking, winning in digital business, how to manage cash flow, building effective and productive organization. Quote, a startup ability to invest in itself accelerate growth. So if you are starting a business or you're a startup, the more you can invest in your organization, you can accelerate growth. In those early years, it is critical to make sure that you are redirecting your revenue back into the company or business. It's better to invest early and heavily in order to grow quickly, said Lang. News from CeProd membership here in Abuja. Yes, published in News Agency of Nigeria and Daily Times and other papers. For those who just joined, if you need the training slide, please send a chat requesting for materials, your full name, email, phone number. Non-members will get full recorded audio of the lectures, while members will get slide and recorded audio. If you want a certificate of participation to be issued, e-certificate, you can also indicate that is optional and it's for 5,000. The admin will reach you out on that. This is our email, info@centerforproductivity.org. Yes, for the past hour, you will agree it has been a time well spent so far. We can't cover everything you need to know about prosperity through productivity in an hour, even if we had all day. You can get more information about how we have grown other individuals and organizations through our website. In conclusion,
No.
I'm coming. In conclusion, we can say we are living in a time of political instability and it can affect cash flow. Yes, we know about the insecurity in the country and in other African regions. Political instability and insecurity can affect cash flow. Entrepreneurs in developing economy may face challenges due to political instability, which can impact the overall business environment. One solution is to stay informed about current events and to be proactive in addressing any potential risk to the business. So you will know when to relocate your business from one area to another. Secondly, consider diversifying the business or investing in multiple streams of income to mitigate potential risk. Lastly, consider expanding to other countries with stable political climate. That's why you have some people who are in Nigeria, but they have also branches of their business in other countries. Yes, I know quite a number of them. Without cash, profits are meaningless. Many profitable businesses on paper has folded up because the amount of cash coming in doesn't compare with the amount of cash going out. Firms that don't exercise good cash management may not be able to make the investment needed to compete, or they may have to pay more to borrow money to function. Thanks a lot. And that is the end.
Well, on behalf of all the participants, to the president of the CeProd, that's Professor Gupta, I want to appreciate, and I want us to appreciate Dr. Chris Egbu, the Director General of the Center, for the wonderful presentation that he has made. I just want us to please allow me for us to appreciate him by clapping for him. Then we'll now start considering the questions, because there are people who raise hands and we want to know what the questions are like. I hope I'll hand over to Mr. Bassi to handle that. Hello? Mr. Bassi? Hello?
Yes, I'm with you. All right, I'm with you.
I know that you must have been collecting the questions for those raising hands. So we take just about 4. DG, do you have more time?
Okay, they can indicate.
Okay, we have Kwaji raising up hand.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
Kwaji, you can unmute and ask your question.
Yeah, good morning, and thank you, Doc, for this brilliant presentation. I'm actually excited to be part of the meeting, and I'm not a member, actually. I was invited to join the meeting, and I'm happy that I have benefited a lot. I'm working in the public sector, really. I'm the coordinator in one of the projects in Adamawa State. The issue of productivity and cash flow, as discussed, is actually more related to private sector that has a profit maximization as an objective. In public sector, there are a lot of challenges that have to do with productivity due to cash flow constraint, particularly when you have to rely on budget, which year in, year out, budgets are made, but at times there are no releases or little or no releases. So if you are working, for example, in public sector, maybe you are providing basic services such as access to health, education, and other basic services to communities. And you have a lot of staff that are willing to work, but don't have really cash backing to support them in delivering these services. I wouldn't know, in the context of this discussion, how because you gave a detail between productivity and cash flow. So how can we resolve these challenges, particularly in the public sector that has to rely on budgeting system of the government? Thank you.
So do we hear all the questions or we handle them one after the other?
We'll take another one. Francis. Francis Chinda.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Francis. I'm talking from Malaysia, as I said. First of all, I want to appreciate your wonderful and a productive lecture. This is not the first time I'm joining your program. I just want to say something about the issue of the certificate. The issue of certificate, not that I think Zoom meetings, e-certificate, this is a big organization, at least for everybody to stay for 1 hour. If there's any certificate should be given, I feel that the certificate should be given to everyone free of charge. That's all. You should put that into consideration.
No, come again.
I said you made mention that anyone that needs certificate is optional and is 5,000 naira. So I'm appealing that this is a Zoom meeting. If there's any certificate, it should be given to everyone free of charge, because this is a very big organization, DG. Sorry, sir.
Okay. Thanks for that. Next person. Dr. Felicia. Please, can you unmute? Yeah, go ahead. We are listening.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you so much for that wonderful lecture that you just delivered. In fact, it's a loaded piece within just an hour. I want to thank God for your life, and I want to thank God also for giving me the privilege to be a member. The areas are, because we are talking about productivity and really talking about cash flow and how our inflow should exceed every expenditure. And we talked about those various accounts that is needed to be opened, which is quite appropriate. Before now, I was having in mind of an account for income and then an account for expenditure. But you have called my attention to a different type of account, which is kind of profits, or should I say, maybe when you have open an account whereby interest account, that an interest should be yielding interest, not just putting the money in an account that will not yield. And when you talk about corporate account, most of the time it's normally a current account, and a current account does not yield interest on itself. So invariably, it seems to be advisable for it going to like 3 accounts now, where you have one account that needs to be yielding interest, then one account will need to be like more or less the inflow account, then another account for outflow. I don't know if this picture is okay before I move to the next part. Is it okay in this dimension, sir?
What we mentioned when we were talking about account was that you should, assuming you have 10 million, and which you don't need immediately, that don't put it in current account, that you should look at interest yielding account and put it, so that when you need to spend it, you move it from that account, maybe to your current account and spend. Then inflow and outflow can be in the same account of current account, such that from there, you will move the excess you don't need immediately to interest yielding account. But suffice to also say that as an entrepreneur, you will also have your personal account different from the business account.
Of course.
I don't know if the clarification is.
Of course, yes. No, I know that, because the business is an entity of itself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. Then I want to go in this way, because when we talk about productivity, income, and outcome, we are really talking about profit making. Now, I want to diversify to the aspect of running an organization that is one of Ministry of Health, e.g., NGO, for instance. Because when the other person asked the question, I was thinking it was going in that line, but I later found out that it has to do with organization too. But in this regard, now that you run an organization that is looking for you just more or less outflow, except the inflow to enable those functionality to take its course. Why am I bringing this point? Like now, for instance, during the time that heavy rain that took over so many states, in fact, I know of a lot of families that were put off their home. In fact, the level of the water overflew their houses. A lot of them contacted me. I tried contacting some bodies, but believe you me, there was no help coming from there. And it pained me a lot that I couldn't be in a position to help anybody. Or the little peanuts I will give them has nothing to do in renting a new place or putting any structure in place. So in this regard of productivity, because productivity is added value, apart from just yielding income and outgoing, in this regard, what is your advice?
Advice about what?
Like ability to be able to meet up with expectation of the masses when they are faced with serious challenges.
Good morning. I'm joining from Maiduguri, Borno State, northeastern part of Nigeria. I would love to have the certificate and materials to go through all these things.
Hello.
Okay, I will answer that. Let me take another one.
Okay, sir.
Then I will answer the 4 together.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Ike Agu, go ahead. Ike Agu, go ahead.
To speak. Okay. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes. The issue of productivity should not be restricted to only private sector. We are living witnesses to other agencies and public sector enterprise in other parts of the world that are doing extremely well, including Ethiopia Airlines. It's not a private, it's a government-owned establishment. So we should be asking ourselves, why is it different in Nigeria here? So with the issue of
or you're making a contribution. Are you asking a question or you're making a contribution?
What I'm saying is that the issue of productivity should not only be restricted to only private sector. We should also ask ourselves that have worked and are working in the public sector, whether we are putting in our best. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. So let me comment on that, on the questions that have been raised. Then we take more. The first person, Okwaji, he talks about the constraint in cash flow, especially in public sector, where government make budgets and there's no releases. And if it limits access to health, education, and how can this challenge be handled? Yes, like the last person I've mentioned, Ike Agu mentioned, the issue of productivity is not limited to private sector. Those that are in public sector, the public sector has the revenue generating side and the expenditure side. Those in health and education, they are the expenditure side. We also have those in revenue side, like those in customs, those in our refineries, the tax authorities. And you see, if the revenue side is not working very well, then the expenditure side will not work very well. I mentioned earlier that we are not able to generate enough money as a country. And this is because there are loopholes. We have refineries which is government owned, that are supposed to generate income. They are not working. There are many tax avenues that are not being tapped by government, or they are not effectively being pursued. Therefore, if those in government in the revenue side are not working very well, it will affect those in the expenditure side. They will not have enough money to spend. Kwaji, did that answer that?
Yeah, very well, sir. Very well. Yeah, you have hit the nail on the head.
So those in government that are in the revenue side, they are not working very well. So it will affect those that are in the expenditure side. So that is how these things work out. So except those in the revenue side work very hard, we are told that subsidy alone is taking about $4 to $5 billion. So if we produce locally, this $4 to $6 billion will be available to you to spend in health and in education. That's one side of the story. But then another side also is that the value we spend in education, there's no industry or to allow the people we have trained to work, to generate further income. So it appears that the education is wasted, because when you train someone for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and he comes out and he stays, he doesn't see anything to do. So that education is also wasted. That person is supposed to be working so that he can also pay tax and contribute to the economy. But the person is not working. So the fund you have sunk into the person, so to say, is not realized by the government. Then Francis Chinda says it will be good if we give certificate free. Francis, if everything is free, how do we get money? because we say it's a non-governmental organization. Government doesn't give us, we are not in government budget. So if everything is free, how do we get the money to survive as an organization? As an organization, we pay rent, and we host our website. If you check our website, it's robust. Even all these things are in the website. So every organization needs a form of income to be able to survive. That's that. Then Dr. Felicia Arrigo, yeah, we appreciate what you are doing, madam, as an NGO. And you talk about how to meet expectation in terms of income, because every NGO have a lot of expectation from the public. But then that is why also you need to do some training on fundraising as an NGO. So every NGO have to have a way of raising funds to sustain their operation. So you must have in your, as a matter of your strategy, how you can raise funds. And then you will work according to your ability to raise funds. And NGO funding is a cost on. If you would like that, we can discuss that later. Then Ike Ago, yeah, you are right. You mentioned that productivity is not only for private sector. Productivity is also for public sector. If the public sector is not productive enough, it will affect them. It will affect them because they will not be able to earn a decent salary because there's no money. So productivity is for all. I think that we have discussed the first part. So let's see whether we can take one or two more questions and we conclude. Let's listen to Larry.
Good morning, Dr. Chris.
Yeah, good morning.
I'm the first time comer, and sincerely, I appreciate the lecture, even though some of the slides got freezed along the line. But even then, from the notes we pick, I think it's a very good work, sir, and we really appreciate you from our end here. And again, I want to appreciate the publicity group, those people that actually pick our email from our company. I don't know how they read email, but sincerely, it was well publicized, and we really appreciate that. Ordinarily, I wouldn't have asked questions, but I don't know whether you mentioned something relating to taxation, especially for some of us that are in private sector. We have issue with multiple taxation, which actually affect our profit, affect our cash flow in so many ways. I don't know how your organization is liaising or linking with the government of the day for issue of taxation. For example, we have an issue where local government will tax you on the same company, and the state government will tax you, and you are also facing federal government tax. How do you help us to link up your organization with the government to look into the issue of multiple taxation on the same good, because it's actually impacting us and that of our customer base? Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Any other person? We take one more before we, okay, so that is the last. Okay, so I take that last. So you are talking about multiple taxation, which a lot of business complain about. It will be nice you speak also with the accountant, who we see, because tax is governed by law. and the accountant will know whether those tax is among those that the law stipulate. That is one. And two, also, at times there are taxes you pay and then you claim it back, like in VAT. We have input tax, input VAT and output VAT. But if you are not keeping the documentation very well, you may not be able to claim them, like your withholding tax. When you pay withholding tax, it is also used to knock off your company tax. So the accountant can advise you. Then if your association is also worried, because every business have an association that they work under its umbrella, your association can also take it up with the government if it is proven that your people in a particular sector are being overtaxed. So thanks a lot. Sheyi, you wanted to mention something. Sheyi Obisoso.
Sheye.
Yeah. Sheyi.
Sorry, sir, I was speaking on mute.
Yeah, please, can you speak on it?
Yes, this issue had actually been on for years because this issue affects all forms of tiers of businesses. As it affects the small businesses, the micro businesses, the small and medium scale, as well as enterprise businesses. Over the years, a lot of people have spoken about it, and government has really not done enough on it. Lagos State, for instance, has started to say that yes, they will want to work on this, but something concrete on it has not been done. Local government tax some businesses, state government will come, and what you know is eating on the profitability and cash flow of this government. Over time, a lot of businesses have actually closed down because of this same issue, because they are eating into their operational expenses. And what I think we need to do on this forum, just to help us, people who are interested in productivity and efficiency, that perhaps we need to call on more pressure groups, organized pressure groups, to actually take this up with the national and state assemblies to, seriously look into this, especially when government is trying to give autonomy to the local governments. They are the worst culprits on micro businesses. And where this happened, the impact is even felt more than the small and medium and enterprise business. So what I think we as fellow members can do is to actually look at which pressure groups are we affiliated to and beginning to push this agenda forward so that multiple pressure groups will be speaking on this point, on this same issue at the same time. And there's no better time now than when we have people campaigning for us to have our votes. We need to push this issue to them. What is your view on multiple taxation? What are the agenda that you have? And what are the steps that you want to outline to resolve this issue in practical times? That's my contribution, sir.
Okay, thank you, Abisa. So please, we will not be able to take more comments. We give opportunity to our council members. Kelechi Ebel, please, say council member, to make contribution.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chris, for the fine lecture, and thank our participants, especially new ones. We encourage you to become members, and it's easy to become a member of CeProd. That will give you all the range of benefits that are agreeable to all members. I also want to thank our participants who raised urgent questions, like Dr. Felicia and Doguri, Kwaji, and others. We appreciate your fine questions. Like that of Dr. Felicia, the director had mentioned the various sides of the governments that generate revenue and those that spend. But, and you asked what could be done. I think it's Duguri that asked this question. CeProd is doing a lot to interface with the government. The head of service is in negotiation and discussions with CeProd on how to improve productivity in the public sector. And if they actually imbibe the tenets that we are pushing to them and implement them, some of these revenue aspect of government will soon be working maximally. And if there's political will to make them work, very soon, the revenue side, the expenditure side will be able to meet each other so that productivity will actually be visible in the lives of the people. So I thank all the participants and wish that you take some further steps to become members of CeProd. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we hand over to the chairman and also council member, Dr. Joshua Odewale.
Thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate, and I want us to further encourage the DG for the wonderful presentation. I just have some few comments. You see, one thing we need to understand about the public service is that the name of the executive or the people who are taking action in public service, they are called public servants. In other words, instructions are being given and they either have to follow the instruction or get out of the system. So what we can do, because as members of the, as citizens, we are the masters of the public service. And if we want to do anything, it is before the law is enacted that we take action. Or if the law has been enacted, then we request or make enough cogent reason why there should be a review. That's why even our constitution, we have constitutional review. I will give you an example for the RRR, for the public service. There's what they call the RRR for payments. And what they do is that when you pay everything through the single accounts, they will give you 25%. But there's the need to really know what kind of money is coming on. Like in Agric, I'll give you an example. I retired from the Nigerian Institute for Oil Palm Research. And before the oil, that's the palm oil, can come out, you must have maintained the field, you must have done harvesting, you must have carried the bunches. And if somebody now wants to buy, you give him the price with the intention that you'll be able to get the money to sustain harvesting next year or next season. But they will take 25%. In other words, if you are producing an equipment for somebody and the cost of the equipment is 100,000, and you charge them maybe 110 because it's a public thing, and they have taken 25% already, you cannot deliver. And that will definitely affect productivity. In the same vein, when we are talking about multiple taxation, it's a law that was enacted, not dropped from heaven. So it means that we as CeProd and all other organizations, just like somebody mentioned, we have to collaborate and talk about all these things in the houses, in the House of Assembly. That look, this is because when you say we should be asking questions, don't ask questions, give them suggestions. If they know the answer, they won't make the mistake. So there's the need for us to sit down. Maybe we have a kind of group, not pressure group this time, but that we look into errors and see how it can be corrected, and then take it to the various houses, whether at local whatever. And that will enhance productivity in every situation. Because even when we are talking of education, you remember once upon a time, every year they employ people. But when they employ, within the next 2-3 years, after the initial running in, within 3 years, you may have only 25% of the people remaining, because the other companies will take them off because they know they have the experience. But now they don't even employ. And those ones don't want anyone to come and destroy their equipment. That's why there are people who are graduates that are unemployable. So this is what we should look at, the root of the problem, and find solution to it. Once more, I really appreciate everybody for listening in, and especially I want to thank the council members who are able to attend, and especially I want to thank Mr. Bassi, who has been the behind the scene operator that is making everything to work well. So once more, we encourage you to become members. When you become members, you get more of this, because this one is a general public thing, but there's always the membership meeting wherein there's interaction and so on. And then if you have anything to suggest, you can always get in touch with us. Thank you very much. God bless you all in Jesus' name. Hello, I hope I'm still on.
So thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
I thank our fellows who are also here. There are too many to recognize one by one. My regards. Professor Miriam Abudu, you are welcome.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Ade, I greet you. Thomas, thanks a lot for being here. So bye-bye for now.